line.
Welcome to the bottom line, everybody. Jaco Booyens here. Thank you so much for your support. Why don't you go ahead and hit that like button and please subscribe to the channel wherever you're watching this, audio podcast, YouTube, Rumble, Parler, or other social media platforms. If you're watching this on Instagram, please like and share and go watch the full episode on any of the other channels. June 12th is World Day Against Child Labor. Big deal. Something nobody's talking about really is we have this Day Against Child Labor. Let's just connect the dots real quick at the top of the show here to just make it real. It's a day against child trafficking because forced labor is a form of trafficking. The definition of human trafficking is the exploitation of persons through the mechanisms of force, fraud, and coercion. When you make a child, a minor, work, you're forcing them to work full-time jobs, as we're going to see in the U.S. and outside the U.S., of course. Seems that statistics point to a lot more child labor outside the U.S. than inside the U.S. However, the caveat is, well, who are the children working for outside the U.S.? And you'll find that it's U.S. companies. So child trafficking through labor trafficking is what it is what we're talking about. So yes, we can say it's the World Day Against Child Labor. Fantastic, but it's trafficking. And many of you may only connect human trafficking with sexual exploitation. No, there's massive amounts of trafficking when it comes to children in the form of forced labor, particularly, and not something we're going to get into today, maybe at length, because I want to do a full show just on this, because it is the Olympic year. Trafficking of children through sport. Massive. You may think, what? Yeah, I sit on a council at the United Nations, particularly to combat trafficking through sport, particularly within what the Europeans would call football or Americans would call soccer. But this episode is not about that. That's a future episode. Please look out for that episode to drop before the Summer Olympics in Paris, France this year. And we're going to go deep into the exponential increase on child trafficking through sport. But let's dive into labor. Labor trafficking is a form of human trafficking, no question. Today, we're going to touch on children being trafficked in the U.S. through forced labor, child labor camps in the U.S. with major U.S. corporations, publicly traded companies, Fortune 500 companies, right? And remember, when we give you the statistics, these are the cases that are reported. These are cases that are prosecuted. We understand that in the world of human trafficking, only 1% of victims